I think I want to preface that by you talk about establishing some groundwork, and I think we can't discuss heaven and hell without saying a few things um, that we have to look at this through an ancient Near East, which is like an Old Testament era cosmology, and then walk it through a Second Temple Jewish literature. And by that I
Yeah.
mean there's 400 years of what's called silence when there were no prophets between Malachi and when Jesus showed up. And
Right.
so during that 400-year Second Temple Jewish literature period, they're pinning their oral history. They're making sense of, okay, well, we have all these prophecies in history, and there's no Messiah yet, so maybe we missed something. And then Jesus shows up, and you have this New Testament first century Jew era when Jesus actually walked the earth. So our cosmology, the foundation that we would use, has to be centered in that because we do a lot of letting Hollywood dictate what our ideas of heaven and hell look like, and then we get it from other literature like Milton's Paradise Lost or Dante's Inferno or some other medieval imagination that's sort of commingled with vampires and gargoyles and demonology, and a lot of it just it's taking what Hollywood does best. It takes a little bit of truth and embellishes the hell out of it, right? For lack of a better term, seems like the appropriate term. Um,
Quite. Quite.
so I'm not walking around your question on purpose, but I do want to establish that when I answer this question, it's going to be I'm gonna try to answer it theologically from a biblical framework and not the fear mongering that we get, or from a heavens perspective, it's it's silly stuff. Like people, when they lose somebody, they try to find comfort in saying, "Oh, somebody, they gained their wings, or God's got another angel." Well, humans and angels are ontologically different. We don't become angels. So right there, you have to parse your tradition and your mythology to what does the Bible say. And the Bible doesn't even say that heaven is our final goal, right? If you read through Revelations, we don't all hang out in heavens with harps and dance on clouds. What are we waiting for? Resurrection, renewal, redemption, and there's a new heaven and earth that's going to be created that we will cohabitate with the Spirit of God, and all this sin and brokenness is eradicated. So we're not even going to heaven eternally. We're waiting on a new earth and heaven to be remade and recreated. It's like it's Eden restored, right? So when you have this Genesis story, it starts out where kind of heaven and earth are overlapping, and there's this cohabitation between human beings and the Elohim, God's created spiritual beings, and God Himself. It's like this intentional, I think, triune creation situation where God, His spiritual imagers and His earthly human imagers are all together and this overlapping. And I also think it's important for us to give the Bible permission to do something. And I want to say that intentionally because we don't have to give the Bible permission, right? The Bible is its own authority. But when I say that, I mean
From our sake.
intellectually, intellectually, yeah, let some things sit well with us. And that is that the Bible employs literary mechanisms that we all use today, like hyperbole, metaphor, uh, analogy, idiomatic language, but more specifically, it employs a lot of anthropomorphic language, and that we give things that are indescribable, things that are spiritual, things that are heavenly. We talk about them in humanistic relational terms that we can use to actually conceptualize what it is we're talking about. So we got to give the Bible permission to do that because it employs genres. It employs these things. It uses allegory. It uses poetry. It uses military language. It uses apocalyptic language. And if we hyper literalize all of that, we're so lost in the weeds that we're missing the actual theological messaging that's happened here. You see what I mean?
Absolutely.